Today we will be talking about whether homeschooling is beneficial or not. Me and Fatma will support that homeschooling is beneficial. Dilem and Nazan will refute our ideas about homeschooling. First, I will start with the definition of homeschooling. It is the education of children at home given by their parents, and it doesn't require regular homework, regular testing, and it means more community, more time with parents. It's also some advantages. For example, with homeschooling, you have ability to teach what you want when you want. The biggest benefit of homeschooling is to choose your child's curriculum. You choose what your child study, when they study, and how long they have to study. Children have the ability to choose to spend more time focusing their studies on areas which they interest, such as art or science. And in most states, homeschool children have complete autonomy to complete their curriculum at their own pace. Also, homeschooled kids tend to learn as fast as the kids in public school systems. Also, you have freedom to choose. Homeschooling can be a big relief for every family. Families who homeschool their children are no longer constrained by the daily, weekly, or monthly schedule imposed by the public school system. They can choose to set up a homeschooling routine, and by preferring homeschooling, they will find that they have much more time to go on their activities. They will live their lives according to their own schedule. Also, homeschooling increases emotional and physical safety for children. Homeschooling avoids potentially harmful influences such as competition or peer pressure and poor self-esteem issues. And homeschooling increases productivity. As you know, in public schools, every classes consist of 25 or 30 students, and a teacher cannot take care of every student at the same time. So this can be talked as another reason why people prefer to homeschooling. And kids attending public schools have a lot of homeworks, but in contrary to in homeschooled kids, they have rarely homework. Also, homeschooling have freedom of religion. Religious beliefs and values are important to many families, and homeschooling allows parents to incorporate their religious beliefs and value system into the educational curriculum for their students. Also, homeschooling enable for students better relationship. Homeschooled children are more emotionally stable, and they show less destructive behavior to people around them. They are more socially adept, and the students are successful in both interpersonal and occupational relationships. Also, homeschooling increases stability. Homeschool children are better equipped to deal with challenges they may face. Also, thanks to homeschooling, students have much more time to rest. As you know, studies suggest that getting enough sleep is more important to physical or emotional health of a child. And some children who attend public schools go to the school feeling exhausted. They come to home feeling exhausted again, and this affects their lessons, their educational life. And this can be taught as another reason why people prefer to homeschooling. And that's all what I want to say. Fatma will continue.
Nowadays, homeschooling is a popular education method, and there are many benefits of it, and that's mostly why it is preferred by parents. And as Shulai said, it is only with the teacher and the child. So it is, we can say that it is it is student-centered, not teacher-centered. And one of the most important advantages of homeschooling is the academic performance. It is proven that the children who are homeschooled have better academic performances, and the fact that the education is not teacher-centered plays a big role on academic performance. So the education depends on the child who is homeschooled, and it is proven that the homeschooled students tend to score higher on tests when compared to the others who go to public schools. And we can say that getting into college is easier that way, because they have a better studying environment, and they have higher attendance into college. The lessons are planned according to the children. They can learn anything anytime. The teacher can teach anything anytime. It depends on the children, so that's a great advantage. And the teacher interacts with the children directly, the student directly. Like Ishalai said, the teacher only take care of the students, only one student, and this way the teacher-student relationships are more stronger. Than the others who go to public schools, have a more direct role on their child's daily learning. And actually, parents can be the teachers for their children too. And the subjects, the topics can be anything according to the child. And additionally, homeschool children improve more creativity, self-esteem, self-confidence, and they do not have the social pressure like bullying. This happens a lot in the schools. The fact that they have more space for themselves lets them improve their creativity. And some studies have found that no difference in social skills between the homeschool children and the children who go to public school. So the parents do not need to worry about the social skills because they are not with their peers in a class. They are only with themselves, and they have more space, time flexibility, so they can learn any subject, any topic more easier, and they can spend more time on the topics they need to understand. They can even learn any subject faster than the schools, the children who go to public schools, because the teacher only interacts with only one child, so it focuses on the child's needs. And I think that's a great advantage for the homeschool children, and the fact that they are self-motivated. They can focus on their own achievements and become more successful students than the others. That's that's all for my ideas about the advantages of homeschooling. Dylan will continue and try to refute our ideas.
Hello, everyone. I will talk about the disadvantages of homeschooling. The first topic I want to talk about is friendships. So if you are homeschooled, you have a limited options of friendships. You can have friends from your neighborhood, or you can be friends with your parents' children. But if you go to school, then you can be friends with your school friends. Even if you love your neighborhood friends or your parents' friends' children, it is a great opportunity to have another friends. The second topic I want to talk about is homeschool materials. Homeschool materials can get expensive. In public schools, they have to give books to the students because the teacher needs the book to teach the lesson and to give the homework. But when you are homeschooled, you have to buy all that materials by yourself, and it can be a very hard thing to do, and it can be a financial burden to you. The third thing I want to talk about is some parents don't have education about teaching, and the education is really important when you are teaching, because if you don't have education about teaching, then you can have a bad impact on your children, and when they grow old, they can get bad about this topic. The fourth thing I want to talk about is no big events to look forward to. In public schools, they organize school trips, or they take the children to matches, and it's a really great thing because children have a chance to socialize in these kinds of events. But when you are homeschooled, it is really hard to socialize, and you should force yourself to socialize, and it can be stressful for you. The fifth thing I want to talk about is dealing with criticism. When you are homeschooled, people can think negatively about you, and if you are in a bad mental health state, this can affect you really negatively. The sixth thing I want to talk about is it is difficult to keep the house clean. So you live in the house, you make food, you always tidy your house. But if your school is your house, then there will be books all over the place, and it will be difficult to keep house clean all the time. So you should be very careful about this topic. The seventh thing I want to talk about is spending less time for the younger children. So if you have more than one children and the biggest one is homeschooled, then your focus should be on him or her fully. But if you focus on him or her fully, then the other children of yours will get affected badly because you don't focus on them totally. The eighth thing I want to talk about is you are not dependent on a curriculum. So at first you can think that, oh, I am free about everything. I can do whatever I want, but discipline is needed because you don't know how much time you should spend time on a topic and how much speed you should do when you're teaching. and this can be a bad experience for the homeschooled student because there should be a time limit for the topic you want to teach. And the last topic I want to talk about is adapting society. So homeschooled students are kind of isolated from the society, but when they are graduated, they will live in a society, so they can get affected badly from homeschool. But if they go to public school, then they will adapt themselves to live in a society, and they will be adapted to living in a society in a better way. So that was all of the things I want to talk about, and now Nazan will continue.
Hi everyone. Now I can continue. As my friend Dilan mentioned, I'm gonna also mention about some disadvantages of homeschooling. I'm gonna talk about three most important disadvantages of homeschooling. One of the first disadvantages of homeschooling that comes to mind for most stressful for the parents, because homeschooling is a lot to take on. Anytime something goes wrong, it's hard to not take things personally. When a child cannot grasp something, you may be quick to blame yourself, or you have to restrain frustration when they don't understand something, and you cannot even find another way to explain it. A child's education is a big responsibility, and all of it gets loaded on the parents. When homeschooling, there will be times when you lose patience, have a lack of motivation, and moments where you might even want to cry in the pantry. The lack of support from the community can also be a heavy burden to carry. Stress stress is a matter of fact, but how you manage it will be key. Another disadvantage is that it requires more discipline. Anyone who has tried to work from home, we know that distractions are everywhere. They think that why wake up early if you don't have to make it to your first class, or why read a book when the TV is on anyway. You can never wait for motivation to strike. Unfortunately, able. Instead, you have to learn to avoid motivation to strike. Unfortunately, um, this to get things you have fewer resources such as technology that may be available at public school. Parents need to teach a wide range of subjects. More freedom and flexibility requires more time and responsibility on the part of parents. It has less potential structure than schools. As Dilem said, children lose some social interaction with their peers. And it also requires more organization. You are wearing two hats when it comes to homeschooling, teacher and parents. Without a homeschool schedule or planning, things can quickly feel out of control, and the stress piles on. Homeschooling parents need to set aside time to plan lessons, hands-on experiences, and activities for the kids to do. Also, some kids cannot do independent learning, and you may need to be with them every step of the way. While you are being an active teacher, you also need to still to manage the house, cook meals, and have time to do things you enjoy as a parent yourself. It would be hard for them to manage all of things alone and take responsibility like this. And the last one is parents don't want to scold their children about the lessons, and don't want to criticize them in order not to upset them. So they even try to skip the subject that they don't understand the lesson, and therefore that child will have less knowledge than a student who's studying at school, and this may be a problem for a problem for child in the future. Even the child blames his parents for this problem in the future. And that's all of my speech. Thank you for listening us. That's all.
Thank you for watching our video, and I hope to see you in our next videos. Bye.